ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Starladder Season 8. We're here with Day 11, and we've got 5 good ones coming up for you today, and we're going to start things off with Team Empire versus OSG, Osliki Gaming. Going to be our Radiant side today. So, I think safe to say Empire are going to be the fan favorites here. They are stand-in lists. They've got their full roster. Resolution Mag, Always Want to Fly, Vanscore, and Silent going to be here for us. And OSG, well, they're going to have close to their full roster. They've got 4, and Wicked Sick going to be their stand-in once again here. See some folks asking, where's LD? And he is busy. Again, just filling in for Starladder Season 8 here. A lot of folks have still been asking me, what's your deal, bro? Are you officially part of the BTS crew? What have you been doing? And just filling in for Starladder Season 8. This is sort of the BTS off-season a little bit. They're looking for a new place, trying to grab a new studio space, and Gods is in Australia right now. So I'm filling in here for Starladder Season 8. Who knows? Could lead to more in the future, but nothing official quite yet. Still happy to be here. As I mentioned in the little preamble, still playing around with my casting style a bit, trying to really hit my mark, and well, we're going to try it again today. I'm going to be solo here for at least Game 1 and Game 2, and after that, if no one else is available, probably going to be bringing on Hippie to join me for the remaining matches today. So again, I'm going to try to find that sweet spot. I'm going to try and jump it up a little bit. I slept for a solid 12 hours last night, so I'm feeling pretty energetic and, well, pretty motivated. I had a nice interview with Josh Lee this morning, the translator, the Dotaland.net guy, so feeling good, excited, and happy to be here. So let's talk about this draft a little bit. Team Empire going to ban out Lich and Clockwork, and Osliki Gaming going to ban out, the Pugna as well as the Mighty Viper. Now that will open up for a first pick Elder Titan for Team Empire. Visage Alchemist going to be snagged by OSG, and Crystal Maiden going to be that second pick for Team Empire. So both teams off to a pretty solid start. Very open-ended lineups here. Still a lot of angles they can take. Now, one thing I like about solo casting is that I get to talk a lot and say those things that Merlini doesn't like to say. Merlini is a man of few words. When he says something, it's because it's important. And I like to let my radio style shine a little bit. I like to reiterate some of those things for those of you out there that are just listening, not really paying attention, so you know what's going on. So I like having that little bit of freedom when I'm solo here. But Alchemist, kind of the hero on the forefront of my mind. We were just talking about in the morning show. S4 playing that solo mid Alchemist twice yesterday, 2 out of 2 games. And a hero that just has sort of an unlimited amount of versatility. He's great in that position 1 role. He's great in that hard support role. He's great at that kind of hybrid starting support, slowly transitioning into a carry as the game progresses and farm allows. He's also not so bad in that solo mid role. It can work so well with that acid spray. You can even zone out ranged heroes. So really an open-ended draft here for Osliki, and not a bad hero to pick up. I think we're going to continue to see more and more Alchemist. He got a small nerf for the concoction at 6.79, but well, team's continuing to show us that Alchemist is a pick worth picking, for lack of a better vernacular. Same with Team Empire, though. Can't complain with Crystal Maiden and Elder Titan, 2 heroes that really need no introduction. Now, 3rd and 4th ban is going to be complete. Empire going to ban out the Marana as well as the OD, and Osliki going to take out the Gyrocopter and Puck. So really focused on banning out some of those team fight heroes. 2 great bans from OSG. Both of them would have synergized so well with the CM and Elder Titan combo here that Empire have started off their draft with. Going to be a 3rd pick Storm Spirit, though, for Osliki. Of course, probably going to be in that mid role, but another one of these heroes that has that bit of versatility. We've seen him shine a bit in that solo safe lane role, but mid is that classic destination for the Mighty Storm Spirit, and where he will probably be grabbed here. Also makes sense to see that Puck ban. Puck does fare quite nicely against the Mighty Storm Spirit. Yesterday, we got to see, well, a little bit of... No, that was another day. Never mind. Scratch that thought. I was thinking of last week. But Storm Spirit always an interesting hero. Let's see what Team Empire want to grab here. They have the beginnings to grab sort of a wombo combo lineup, though that has fallen out of popularity a little bit. They are going to take their sweet time here, though. Think about it and burn most of their bonus time, actually, trying to decide what they want to grab for this 3rd pick.
Ten seconds remaining.
Sorry, I did get a quick message on Skype that needed tending to. Abaddon, going to be that 3rd pick for Team Empire. An interesting choice. They may be looking for a Weaver 4th pick here. That is one of the classic duos. Really one of the only pairings that we see Abaddon picked with, at least in the past week and a half or so of Starladder. I think if you looked at all the matches where Abaddon was picked, pretty much Abaddon Weaver is the way it goes down. Just such a great combo. The two of them really work nicely.
10 seconds remaining.
One of the weak points of Abaddon, though, he is melee. And those melee supports, well, they can make it a little bit difficult. A lot harder to zone someone out of a lane. But one of the reasons he pairs with Weaver so nicely is between the support from the Mist Coil and the Aphotic Shield. Well, that Weaver can be nice and aggressive. I reckon Empire gearing up for kind of a 2-1-2, though Crystal Maiden, another one of those versatile heroes. Her jungling prowess has really been where she's been able to shine. We see Crystal Maiden kind of AFK in the jungle more often than not, it seems, these days, unless you're in an aggressive tri-lane, of course. And I've spurred quite the conversation in chat here about the best casters. Upon seeing you guys in chat, I did actually just PM to see if Lysander's here.
Dire team pick.
So, of course, Lysander, if he is available, be happy to co-cast with him today. I've actually yet to co-cast with him. So if he's here, I'll do it. If not, no problem. He is on a different time zone. Sorry for the typing. But it's a one-man show today, folks. Only so much.
10 seconds remaining.
So Weaver is going to be snagged by OSG here, and I think that's a good pick.
Radiant
Not only because he
team
fits
ban.
well with their roster, going to give them a nice little bit of carry to go with that Alchemist, but also to really be a deny pick here against the Abaddon. That pairing is deadly. But Empire, they're right up on it. They're going to grab the Doom right away, and I like that here. Doom, basically the counter to Weaver. I think that's a pretty standard bit of analysis right there. Doom just shuts him down. Doom the ulti, I mean, not the hero. Doombringer using the Doom. Just works so well to deal with that Weaver. Now what's interesting is Venomancer is actually still in the pool. Not going to be a pick that Team Empire are going to be interested in here, but could be one that OSG want to utilize. It sort of depends on how they want to lane this. It's probably going to be Storm Spirit in the mid. And if they want to run that as a one-position Alchemist, they could very well grab a Venomancer for a Veno Visage Alchemist tri-lane, Weaver off-lane, or a Weaver safe lane, depending on how they want to do it. And that could be extremely potent here. That Veno Visage combo is really a deadly set of supports. The two of them are just so aggressive. They make that laning phase absolute hell for whoever they're up against. But that may not want to be the route that they go here. Visage and Alchemist very well could be the supports for OSG, and they could be tri-laning with that Weaver.
10 seconds remaining.
Clockwork's been banned out, but a couple of offlaners still available. Timbersaw was one I was going to mention, but they're going to ban him out here. Bounty Hunter still in the pool as well, though obviously Bounty Hunter and Weaver, not always the best. It's just a little bit too easy to counter him. Already Sentry's going to be needed against Weaver. If you add another invisibility to it, makes those consumables just a little bit more valuable. Those value sentries, those value dusts, if you can get both of them. So we'll see what they want to grab here. Again, it's still a lot of flexibility in OSG's lineup. They can kind of do what they want. Bristleback will be the final ban from Team Empire here. I think OSG, well, they've got a fair bit of lockdown. I was going to say they could use a little bit of lockdown, but they've got the Unstable Concoction, they've got the Vortex. They've got a decent bit, but they don't have one of those huge bits of AoE lockdown. Naga Siren also could be an option here if they wanted to go that route. No, that's going to be the Nature's Prophet. And how could I forget about Furion? Still in the pool, that's going to make a great pick for him. I like that. So probably going to be that support Alchemist after all, paired with the Visage. Keep that Weaver safe and sound. Offlane Nature's Prophet, Storm solo mid. Great bit of synergy here. Now Team Empire, what do they need for this final pick? I'm thinking a Nyx Assassin could be a reality here. Nyx just works so well to shut down that Nature's Prophet. Nope, going to be a Night Stalker. Still a similar flavor though. Night Stalker, a great choice here. Resolution going to pick him up, so it will be a solo mid Night Stalker. But what's really fascinating here, Silent going to be on the Elder Titan. We'll see if they swap once they get into the game, but Silent, of course, is the carry player for Team Empire. And that generally means he's going to be hard farming. And a position 1 Elder Titan is very atypical. Kind of interesting. I really would have thought that would have been a Silent Doom. I mean, I think Mag does play Doom a bit more frequently, but still.
10
Position 1 Elder
remaining.
Titan. We've seen it a few times. Right when Elder Titan kind of came into competitive mode and was just
5
picked and
seconds
played all over the
remaining.
place, solo, mid, support position. We've really seen Elder Titan play every single role. And he can do all of them, but he really shines in that offlane. That's really where he really shines. He picks up that experience. He can harass long range with the Astral Spirit. But alas, it looks like it is going to be silent on the Elder Titan here. And that means Mag probably going to be the offlane player here on Doom. It's a position I like Doom in, but in this particular game, I think they might be well advised to swap. We'll see how it works out for him. Now, as many of you know, I'm not the biggest Doom fan. I'm kind of a Doom naysayer, I think. I like to glance over at chat. You guys really keep me on my toes. I like it. Really have spurred quite the discussion about casters, co-casters, and everything else under the sun. We've all got our positives and negatives, folks. I think there's no such thing as the ideal caster. Though I will say, I have a lot of favorite casters, but my two favorites for sure are Draskell and Gods. I think there are two casters that really transcend that sort of play-by-play and competitive insight. There are some most casters really play one of two roles. You know, you're either like myself or HC, where you've got the voice, you've got the play-by-play, you're pretty interesting to listen to, but you don't have that hardcore competitive experience. Or you've got your Merlinis, who doesn't really do play-by-play all that much, but boy does he know his shit. You know, he's got that experience. And I think Draskell and Gods really do a great job just transcending that gap, where they truly can solo cast and be that jack of all trades and do it well. That's just my insight. Not insight, that's not the right word. That's just my 2 cents, I suppose. Take it for what you will. My semi-unbiased insight as well. I've got some ties to Gods here on BTS, so I guess I would do well to compliment him. But Draskell, I never even met him, never even talked to him. I just like his style. Big fan. Yeah, Resolution NS, a little bit scary. Now, this is going to be a solo mid Night Stalker, and yesterday we got to see actually Loda play a Position 1 Night Stalker. We are stuck in a pause here, guys, so just going to take this opportunity to ramble on a little bit. But we did get to see a Position 1 Night Stalker yesterday, and it was a little bit interesting at first glance, but it did work out a little bit better, I think. The new changes tonight make Night Stalker a little bit better, and maybe not a Position 1, but hard farming rather than mid. Because that first night comes just a little bit too early. Level 4, level 5-ish, usually by that 4-minute mark. You're not quite at that point where you're going to be able to roam around and start picking up kills. The previous night cycle was a little bit better for that solo mid. First night comes, you get a couple of kills, you start to snowball. Now it's almost better just to farm through that first night. If you have an opportunity to pick up a kill, absolutely take it. But we see these Night Stalkers just playing a little bit more passively, so to speak, and farming out till that second night, and that's when they really start to go crazy and pick up that momentum. But we'll see. Certainly still a very viable mid-hero. Resolution's Night Stalker is definitely one to be scared of, I suppose one could say. We are going to resume here, though. And, of course, there is delay on the stream, guys, so if there are audio issues, anything like that, please feel free to post them in chat. I do have chat open. Do my best to adhere to your wishes and deal with any issues that come about, but do remember that there is a 2-minute delay, so you know, a little hard to reply right on the dot. That is one of the banes of casting here as one of the dedicated casters. You don't get to that luxury of the built-in delay and no delay on the stream. So it looks like we could see a 5 versus 5 in the jungle up here as both sides move into the Dire. All 5 of them. Looks like they're not going to have that cataclysmic engage. That could have come about.
30 seconds to battle.
So let's go ahead and introduce our rosters here. On the Radiant side, we do have OSG, Osliki Gaming. I believe it means donkey in Russian, something like that, something close. But we've got Shomi here playing on the Storm Spirit. Looks like he may be headed towards that mid lane. We're going to have Wicked Sick. They're standing on the Alchemist. He's going to be headed down bottom. We Just Zik playing on the Visage. Probably going to be headed down to that bottom lane as well to support their buddy Big Num. Going to be hard farming on that Weaver in the safe lane.
The battle begins.
And of course, we do have Tron, aka Tapo, playing on the Nature's Prophet up here in the top lane. Solo long lane. Oh, already maybe a bit of aggression coming out from OSG. We see them paired up here right about the mid lane. Looks like they do want to pick on Resolution a bit. We'll keep tabs on it. On the Dire side, they're going to have Silent on the Elder Titan. he is going to be in the long lane, so it will be that off-lane Elder Titan we spoke about. Not going to be hard farming. Will be Resolution in the mid, playing on the Night Stalker, doing a nice little bit of path blocking there. Van Score going to be supporting on the Abaddon. And he is nearby to support, and it's going to be much needed here. Alchemist charging up the Concoction. He'll come in. That's the stun on Resolution. Chomi coming in, but right away, the Aphotic Shield going to keep him safe. Nice little bit of insight right there from Van Score, recognizing they may put a bit of aggression onto this Night Stalker. One great way to slow him down is to pick up a kill at the start of the match. And that one Aphotic Shield going to help keep him alive. Very nicely played by Empire. I'm going to thwart the efforts of OSG already from the get-go here. Now let's talk about the rest of this roster. Mag going to be up in the safe lane, farming away on the Doombringer, and he is going to be joined by Always Wanna Fly, playing on the Crystal Maiden, but as we mentioned in the picking phase, CM probably going to be spending a lot more time in the jungle than in lane actually supporting Doom. Doom should have absolutely no trouble here against the Furion. Furion with about 54 starting off damage, Doom with 61 going to have a slight advantage, but he should be able to hold his own, no problem. And we'll just be farming away. The one that's really got his work cut out for him is going to be Silent down here in the long lane. But alas, Empire going to move into a bit of a 2-1-2. Abaddon will rotate down to help support Silent for a 2-on-3 kind of tri-lane here and try and slow down that farm of Big Num just a little bit. He's off to a pretty solid start so far. Oh, man. So let's talk about this mid matchup a little bit. Right now, Storm Spirit off to the races. Chomi sitting 9-1 against the 6-2 Night Stalker. He does have a slight lead set up for him. But again, Resolution shouldn't have too much trouble here. He does have that luxury of being able to farm with Void. One of the great things about him as a mid-hero. But uh-oh, in the jungle here, Silent going to be in a little bit of trouble. He is going to take this unstable Concoction to the face. A Photic Shield going to come out. Silent should be able to make it out. Speedy little devil, that Elder Titan. He does have early boots here, so he's going to survive to tell the tale. Just going to hang around at the low ground here, trying to grab some of that experience. And right here, this is one of the reasons why Elder Titan is just so great in the off lane. The unbelievable range of that Astral Spirit just makes things so difficult to deal with. At the very least, he has that farming tool. Van Score, though, his saving grace down here. Photic Shields aplenty. Great ability indeed. Abaddon, one of those supports that we always think of as kind of passive, but don't underestimate that early bit of damage, especially at level 2. Across the board, I think he does more level 2 bursts than most heroes between the Aphotic Shield and the Mist Coil in tandem. Crystal Maiden, another one of those very aggressive early level supports here. As she's just continuing to pull, maintain a little bit of lane control for her buddy Doombringer up here. And looking at farm, Furion actually doing pretty well. 9-3 against the 11-2 Doombringer. So all in all, they are pretty comparable up here in farm. And as an off laner, any farm you can get is kind of a bonus. Just being able to stay in experience range is really where it's at. What's going to be scary, though, is once Doom hits level 6. Doom, one of those heroes, kind of like Puck to some degree. Kind of turns into a different beast once he grabs that ult, and if he has that small experience advantage, we see many a situation where that can result in a kill. See Silent over by the secret shop there, gonna grab his Sage's Mask. Looked like they wanted to try and engage it. Two very aggressive supports from OSG, but they've still been unable to secure a kill. Let's take a look at the levels here. Minor support advantage here for Empire, that Crystal Maiden getting a slightly better farm. And Visage and Alchemist actually leeching a bit of experience from this Weaver. Though he is still level 4, still doing just fine. Big Num actually going to take a good bit of damage here, though. So far, this is really a victory for Empire down here in the bottom lane, I have to admit. Mostly just because it's a 2 versus 3. They're opening up a much better bout of efficiency here with Crystal Maiden in the jungle. If we take a look at the graph, they're going to find the experience advantage, not the gold advantage, though. About what we would expect, given that they do have more of a dedicated jungler. None of these Radiant supports really doing too much in the jungle. They have creep pulled a few times, but not quite as much as that CM. In the mid lane here, though, first Knight going to come about. Resolution going to grab himself a Haste Rune. But uh-oh, maybe an overcommitment. Furion going to come in. That's going to be a Sprout. Down he goes. First blood coming out for Chomi. Oh, man, what a misplay there from Resolution. Probably should have switched to it a little bit earlier, but nice play from Tron. He pops in that Sprout. Well, going to keep his Storm Spirit alive, and they do turn it around. I thought that was going to be a free kill with a Haste Rune and First Knight coming out at just about the same time. Doesn't really get much better than that for a Night Stalker. But some crafty footwork from the Storm Spirit. He is going to survive. Now down in the bottom lane, they're going to get a bit aggressive. Acid Spray going to come. Concoction charging. But uh-oh, Visage taking a lot of damage. Down he goes. Elder Titan going to grab that one. Resolution comes down, hot off the respawn. They're going to be able to finish off the Alchemist as well. Maybe even a Weaver right here. Weaver only level 4, not going to have a time lapse. Is going to Shikuchi. They're going to try to pursue. And Shikuchi going to wear off. Unfortunately, for the Night Stalker, not going to go the right way. hoping Big Num was going to go back a bit further, but going to outplay him just a tad. Resolution's not done yet, though. There's the Void. They're going to come in. Almost enough burst damage to finish him off. Big Num going to be forced to head for the hills, but now Chomi going to come in. There's the crowd control on Silent. They might have the damage support coming from Vanscore. That's going to be enough to finish him off, but the Aphotic Explosion actually almost finishing off Big Num. Resolution going to get some sight. Oh, man, what a Shikuchi. Just in the nick of time, that Void would have been enough to finish him, I think. A lot of action heating up down here at the bottom lane. Resolution's not 6. He's cruising around here at nighttime, and he's ready to make it happen. Not going to find it, though. He's going to head back to the mid lane. Going to settle down as a 3 for 3. Well, I guess a 2 for 3, actually. OSG going to find the slightly better of the engage, though. Empire still continuing to pull ahead, though they did grab an extra kill right... actually, no, pardon me. I had that backwards. Empire going to grab the 3 for 2. OSG had a kill on the board from grabbing that first blood. And with that, I'm going to miss the kill on Weaver. My apologies. And they are going to dive forward here. Going to try and finish off the Visage. Resolution just needs sight. Going to be able to use that Void, and this should result in a kill. We just Zik, just trying to buy time here. He's moving around the trees. Fury going to throw the ulti, and Resolution actually taking a lot of damage. Nice Fury and all going to come in. Visage going to nuke him. He's going to have to head for the hills. Now Silent, stuck in no man's land. Tapo down here. He's going to try and path block him. Very well played. He's going to keep him stuck in here with the Treants. Chomi going to come in. That'll be the end of Silent. Big overcommit from Empire right there. They do get the valuable kill on the Weaver, but unfortunately it is going to cost him the Elder Titan. And honestly, almost costing him the Night Stalker as well. Resolution not going to get what he was looking for in terms of those kills. And did sacrifice a bit of farming room there. So now on this net worth chart, those mid heroes dipping down a little bit. But Storm Spirit has found the better of it. Looking at the kills, he is 1-0-2. And that Night Stalker going to be 1-1-2, so pretty comparable there. Now OSG looking like they may want to push down here in the bottom lane. They do have a 4-man squad ready to make it happen. Going to throw some nukes out the way of Silent, though he's going to get the Aphotic Shield. That'll pick him back up. And he'll be in good shape. This tower going to take heavy pressure, though. Those Treants going to tank some of those tower blows. And they're going to get it down to at least half health. Not sure if they're going to be able to grab it in this push. Oh my god, they're going to be able to grab a kill in the mid lane. I'm so sorry. Chomi going to get picked off by the Storm Spirit. Wow. Not quite expecting that, honestly.
Top tower is under attack.
Maybe a bit of a misplay there from the Night Stalker. Totally missed it. Poor camera work. I do apologize. But all this while, though, in the top lane, this has really benefited Empire because Mag has just had absolute free farm. They put all this pressure in the bottom lane. That's interrupted everything Weaver's been trying to do in terms of farm. And now Mag, he's number 1 on the net worth chart. Not by much compared to that Storm Spirit after grabbing a solo kill on Resolution. But still, a lot of room for Mag up here in the top lane. And he is going to go Midas. He's got the recipe. Only 2 points in Devour, but still, going to use that effective farming tool. And oh my gosh, I'm just missing them all over the place. Alchemist going to fall in the bottom lane. And they may continue to pursue. We just Zik. Nope, they're going to turn it around. Actually, Silent going to be the one forced to retreat here. Though a double damage going to be bottled up by Night Stalker. He is going to head down to the bottom lane. And now they're going to try and turn it around. The Astral Spirit comes out. Going to be an easy kill for Resolution here. Down he goes. And that'll be the end of that engage. Now going to be 5-6. Empire's still going to hold on to a bit of a lead. I got to focus more on this minimap. I'm missing kills way too much. This game was weird. Very quiet at the beginning, and now all of a sudden kills coming out in virtually every lane. Let's take a look at these graphs here. Empire now holding on to that gold lead. About 1,200. Very small experience advantage. As everyone does just kind of go back to farming again. Doom going to be the big victor here. And Crystal Maiden as well. Both of them just been farming away. Always Want to Fly is now level 5. And just look at that difference in support experience. We see 2 level 5s for Empire, and Visage and Alchemist only 3 and 4. Big difference right there, and that's really going to come into play. Visage, one of those supports that really needs level 6 pretty quickly. Those birds are one of the defining features of the hero, and his experience gain just hasn't been so great. Again, one of the reasons why Crystal Maiden has just been such a popular pick, because she's so efficient in the jungle. And still plays that support role oh so well. Even Abaddon been doing well down here. He's going to grab level 6. Not the biggest of ultis. Borrow time does help, but not super crazy. Still just nice to see Empire with a small advantage there. This mid lane's really where it's at, though. Chomi been doing a great job. He's going to engage on Resolution again. There's the Vortex. Resolution going to be in big trouble. Down he goes. Visage going to be the one to finish him off there. We saw We Just Zik hanging out for quite some while in the mid lane and looking for that opportunity. Resolution showing us why Night Stalker can be a bit of a gamble in that mid lane. A lot of pressure on him to win the mid, and he really needs to be moving around. Now this second night, third night, I suppose. Gonna be a little rough for him. Really slowing down that momentum of the Night Stalker, though, is great news for OSG. Still, my biggest concern is this free farming Doom. Now that he's got the Midas, we're gonna see his farm just skyrocket. Picking up kills on Night Stalker is great. That's going to stop him from being out of control, but Doom can definitely be a force to be reckoned with. Doom, one of those heroes that, by his very nature, isn't necessarily that scary. What makes him scary is his ability to get an item up on everyone else with his farming tools. We'll hold that thought, though, because down in the bottom lane, so going to see some initiation. Silent going to be in a little bit of trouble. We'll get the Aphotic Shield. Now Resolution going to come in. He's got a double damage. And, oh, the Crystal Nova going to connect with Big Num. He's going to be in big trouble. Void to finish him off. Down he goes. Alchemist going to fall as well. Now We Just Zik going to be stuck in their sights. This is going to be a 5-man fight from Empire down here. They're putting a lot of resources into it. And they're going to get the payoff. That's going to be a 3-0. Not quite nil. It does cost him the tier 1 tower in the mid, as Furion does try and capitalize, but it's going to be at least a 1-for-1 tower exchange. So Empire really going to grab some momentum here. That double damage rune really coming in handy for Empire. Nicely done. Nice convergence in the bottom lane as well. Let's take a look at some inventories here. Weaver has grabbed a Midas of his own. And it looks like Furion going to be working towards his own Midas, but still going to be a ways off. Does have the Gloves of Haste. And, oh, pardon me, it was on the Courier. My mistake. I was going to say, his farm should be better than that by now. That is going to be his Hand of Midas. So it will be a 2-0 Midas count. Definitely great news for OSG. Though still Doom. Going to be a scary force here. Now, it looks like Resolution probably going to be going for a Vanguard here. Does have that first Vitality booster. There it is. There's the Vanguard. So an interesting choice. Not a bad item on Night Stalker by any means, but very mid-game oriented. Going to give them a nice edge here in the early game and into the mid-game as well. That means they are going to be wanting to team fight here. I think a mech going to be coming out before too long, but wow, Silent just going to get obliterated. He walks in blind, catches all 5 of OSG, and he is going to fall. Always Want to Fly, going to suffer a similar fate. Down he goes, and Storm Spirit going to be the one to grab that kill. So OSG picking up some momentum of their own here. Still a very back-and-forth game. Empire holding on to their lead, but OSG still hanging in there. Now it looks like Elder Titan is going to be the one to grab that mech. He does have the buckler already, headdress. Just going to need enough gold to grab himself a recipe there to finish off the mech. So definitely a very mid-game oriented stride here for Empire. And definitely a carry advantage going the way of OSG, I suppose. Though that Alchemist playing the support role, he's not going to be a scary carry at any early juncture in this match. So there will be a mid-game stride where Empire are going to be able to capitalize, hopefully. But Weaver may start to overtake them as this game continues, because Night Stalker does eventually start to fall off a bit. Doom as well. Doom, very similar to Alchemist in that he's all about the momentum, staying ahead of the opponents. Once he starts to fall off, it can be a little bit difficult to start to recover. Right now it does have War Stomp, Swiftness Aura. I'll go on some utility creeps. But there it is. Doom going to grab himself a Shadow Blade. Very well-timed Shadow Blade as well. He still maintains that farming lead, about 1,500 ahead of the #1 farmer of OSG, who of course is Storm Spirit. But Empire keeping the aggression on here, especially during nighttime. And they are going to have a 5-man push up in the top lane. Tier 1 tower in the mid still standing, but it looks like they do want to commit to a push up here. Illusion Rune on Resolution as well. Going to work very nicely for what they want to do. Glyph going to be used right away by OSG. Pardon me. And Acid Spray going to come down as well. We see Mag just hanging out here by the secret shop, looking for an opportunity to catch someone off guard. Furion going to throw the ulti just to try and knock everyone down to a slightly lower hit point pool.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Visage finally going to hit level 6 as well. That's going to be a free bird kill. And the tower falls, though not for free. They're going to lose this bottom tier 1 as well, but there's going to be a defense. Doom going to be used onto the Storm Spirit. Mag trying to pursue. Chomi obviously going to fall right here as Void comes out. Great way to start this off. Tower for tower, also going to grab a valuable kill on that Storm Spirit. Tapo going to try and pour it out. Not going to happen. He's going to fall. That'll make it a 2-for-0 exchange down here in the bottom. Well done by Empire. A tower for tower exchange and then 2 kills on top of it. Well played by the Doom as well. I don't think he'd revealed that Shadow Blade quite yet. They didn't know he had it. Very crafty play to pick up essentially a free kill onto the Storm Spirit. Really a great choice. Though, the early game aggression not going to be enough for Storm Spirit to grab a defensive item first. Looks like he is going to go for that fast Orchid. 2 Oblivion Staffs already. Great item choice indeed. Does allow Storm Spirit to be very aggressive.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Sort of a comparable utility item to the Shadow Blade onto the Doom. In the mid, though, Weaver going to poke forward. Weaver needs to be a little bit careful here. He's kind of in no man's land. If he gets crowd controlled, he could be in trouble. Is there detection on the supports? No. And no. So, alright. No tools to deal with that Weaver. I guess he feels safe. All the while on the top lane, though, OSG will take out the last remaining Tier 1 for Empire. So they do take that tower advantage. Now going to be 3-2. That mid-tier 1 still remaining for OSG, though we could see some initiation here. Double damage rune at that 14-minute spawn. It is going to be bottled up by Chomi on the Storm Spirit. Empire, though, continuing to put this mid-game pressure on now as we're moving out of the laning phase. They are all grouped up about the mid, and they are going to pressure this mid-tier 1. But all the while, Tron been playing a great game. He's been on point with this Nature's Prophet. Anytime Empire tries to pressure these towers, he is just somewhere else knocking down these towers and already chipping away at this tier 2. Really a great choice. One of the reasons I thought Nyx Assassin may be the choice from Empire for their last pick instead of that Night Stalker. He's a little bit better at dealing with that split push from Furion. Especially when he hits that level 11 mark, that Vendetta just becomes so deadly. But Resolution going to be able to scare him off still. This tier 2 going to take about half damage. This Siege Creep actually still chipping away at it. So a nice bit of pushing advantage going the way of OSG here. Mech has been completed for Empire. It is in the inventory of Elder Titan, of course, silent here. That is great news. If they want to do these team fights, that's going to be a huge edge. Still no mech for OSG. Not even close to one either. I don't know which support's going to grab it, but Medallion going the way of the Alchemist. And Visage actually with a Medallion as well. So 2 Medallions from OSG. Not the most common build. Not bad, just not something we see all that often. I think one of them grabbing a mech here might have gone a little bit better, of course. Mech a little bit more expensive, but still pulling up that gold to work towards the mech. Mech is always greater than no mech, especially if Empire are going to hit this mid-game stride. I think they're going to need it to take these team fights. Point booster now picked up on Resolution, so he is getting some survivability here. Weaver definitely going for a very greedy build, though. Did go that Handamitis first, Ultimate Orb, Perseverance, going straight into the Lincolns. No boots either. Very, very greedy indeed. He's going to be forced to go to the Lincolns, no doubt about that. But I think a pair of boots would do him pretty well. And Weaver is farming fairly nicely. He is number 1 on the Radiant side. Of course, that Handamitis starting to kick in a bit, nipping at the heels of the Doom. But still has a ways to go before he catches him.
Double damage.
I still think OSG are going to be a little bit hard-pressed to deal with this mid-game pressure that Empire are gearing up for. OSG definitely gearing up for a little bit more of a late-game style, I think. Especially the way that Weaver's building. Force Staff now on the Furion. But here we go. Smoke Gank going to come. It is going to be revealed by the Abaddon. They're going for Silent. There's the Aphotic Shield. In comes the Zip. Earth Splitter going to come. But Silent is still going to be the first to fall. Now Vanscore going to be the target. And he's going to go down as well. Borrowed time knocking his savior from that one, buddy. And OSG going to find 2 nice kills at a great time. I keep talking about this mid-game stride, and OSG just continuing to find these great ganks about the map while Empire is still farming up those core items for the pushes. Doom now with a plate mail. Could be an early Assault Kuros, but something tells me it's going to be a Shiva's. I think they want that little bit of damage, that bit of utility as well. But time will tell. Gem already picked up on Night Stalker, a very early gem pick here. Well, maybe not very early, but a nice and early gem pick. So they really do want to deal with this Weaver, try and capitalize on perhaps that greediness of his build. Again, the lack of boots. Gem does make him a slightly easier target here. I think they'd be well advised to try and put some pressure on that Weaver before he finishes the Lincolns, but, well, Empire's still within an okay timing window here. Again, let's glance at this graph. Empire holding on to a minor lead, about 1,000 gold, somewhere about 700 experience. Nothing too crazy here for the 19-minute mark. Tower count still going to be 3-2. That one tier 1 in the mid still standing. But both sides do have medallions, so expect Roshan to be a reality in this match, especially if they get a little bit of breathing room, a successful team fight here in the mid game. Very well may be able to secure themselves an easy Rosh kill. Really for either side, Medallion just makes it so easy to grab a surprise Rosh kill. But there it is. Lincoln's now going to be on the Weaver. He does have the recipe at least. And Visage working towards that mech. I still think Empire really need to try and make something happen while they have the mech advantage. That is absolutely huge at this state of the game. Can't overvalue that mech enough, especially when the other team doesn't have one. Here we go. Some aggression coming forward. Orchid going to be used on Resolution. Resolution could be in a little bit of trouble here. Mech going to be popped. That'll help pick him up. Earth Splitter comes. And that'll be the end of the Visage as well as the Nature's Prophet. Freezing Field as well. Gonna catch the Alchemist. Big Num gonna get doomed. He's destined to fall. Doesn't even continue running. Nothing he can do. A 4 for nil exchange. Great initiation from Empire. And actually it was OSG that initiated it. I guess I should say great counter initiation. They thought they had the burst to finish off that Night Stalker, but right there. Did I not say it? The mechanism really coming in handy. That's what helped keep Resolution alive. They didn't have the mech. I'm not sure if they would have had enough damage to finish him off, but still. Great engage for Empire. They're going to get the tier 1 tower mid, and they may just rotate into the Roshan pit here. Yep, they're going to do just that. Very nicely done. And I think this is the right call. No reason not to do it when you have the medallion. So Weaver's still going to have the Lincolns, though. Unfortunately, they didn't grab those kills before he grabbed the recipe. So could have slowed him down a bit more, perhaps, if that fight happened a bit earlier. But still, now they're going to grab Roshan, and Empire really going to pick up some mid-game momentum here. About 3,000 gold lead now, close to a 4,000 experience lead as they have knocked down all the tier 1 towers. And also a Hand of Might is now going to be in the inventory of the Elder Titan. So it looks like Silent will be farming a bit on good old Elder Titan there. It is indeed going to be a Shiva's on the Doom. I like that choice here. Again, that mid-game timing. To Poe. Yeah, he's going to make it out. Again, still a little bit perturbed by the double medallion build here of OSG. Kind of curious if that was intentional or a bit of a miscommunication, perhaps. Can I use other adjectives except nice? Okay, I'll try. Try wonderful. Exuberant. Delectable. So Empire going to continue on with their teamfight presence, but OSG with the right idea. Looks like they may be interested in trading a tier 2 for tier 2. They're going to try and finish off this tier 2 up in the top lane. That Furion did do some work on earlier. I think Empire will be okay trading tier 2s for tier 2s, though. Some port's going to come back. Elder Titan going to come back to the tier 3. Always when a flying going to go to the tier 2 in mid. And Glyph going to be burned. Don't know about this exchange from Empire. An interesting Earth Splitter going to come. Not going to do much. And they are just going to lose that top tier 2. Not going to pressure this tier 2 hard enough. And that's going to be it. Sort of a weird choice from Empire right there. Not the biggest of misplays, but they could have at least made it a tier 2 for tier 2. And even though the Glyph was used, I think they could have made it back in time to defend that tier 3 without any trouble. Instead, they're just going to burn that big ulti and hand over a free tier 2 tower. So tower lead does go back the way of OSG here, 4-3. As they do secure the first tier 2 tower kill of the match. Mag continuing to have a good game here, though. Maintaining that farm at about 12k. Still a good bit ahead of the leading farmers of OSG. And they are going to press forward. Perhaps. We see some conversion around the mid lane here. Resolution up on the high ground. Going to throw a nuke onto the Alchemist, but that's it. No follow-up going to come. Resolution does have a haste rune on, though, and he does now have the Ag Scepter. An interesting choice. We talked about this yesterday a little bit when we saw Loda with the Night Stalker pick. Very mid-game oriented item indeed. A little more typical of that mid-Night Stalker style rather than the position 1 hard farming kind of Loda style of Night Stalker play. But will work out for him here, I think. Does truly make Night Stalker the master of the night. But here we go. This top tier 2 tower going to be under heavy pressure. Empire do want to take another 5v5 engage. Still no mech complete on the Visage. Still going to maintain that mech advantage. Could come in handy once again in this fight. Acid Spray does come down, will help delay their pushing here, and oh, some casters going to get disconnected. Uh-oh. Hope that's not a precedent for this match, hopefully related to their end. Nope, maybe the pause was for unrelated reasons. But we are going to resume here straight up. Acid Spray down now. Empire just going to go back to pushing this tower. Going to start chipping away at it. And I think they are going to grab themselves a free tower kill here. OSG really don't want a team fight right now. Their last team fight just went so poorly. And now Resolution is even tankier. But here we go. Nice Earth Splitter. And that Doom going to be enough to finish off the Weaver. Down goes the Visage. That'll be a 2-0. Alchemist now may get caught. He is going to throw a concoction out, but Shiva's going to come. Down he goes. That's a 3-0. Furion is pushing the tier 2 in the bottom lane. He did manage to take it out. But I don't think his push is going to be fast enough. This tier 3 is going to be under heavy assault here from Empire. Another very convincing team fight. They are going to find this mid-game stride. And I think they're going to have the pushing power to knock down this tier 3 tower before Furion does anything too significant. They do have a Glyph available as well. Probably going to burn it before too long here. Top tier 3 does fall. No Glyph available for OSG. And these racks are going to go down.
Radiant's top barracks are under attack.
Very nice from Empire, and Crystal Maiden actually going to be the one to go back, is going to be able to keep that tower safe, and that'll be it. Now some port's going to come in, though. Necro Book picked up by Furion. And, oh, Alchemist going to stun himself, looking for an opportunity, but I don't think they're going to find it here.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Sprout going to come out. But no, that's going to be it. Still, OSG going to be hard-pressed to take a good engage here. They are going to try and pursue. Unstable Concoction going to come. Silent may get left behind. Mech going to be used. Nope, just going to buy him a couple of seconds. He is going to fall. So OSG do get one cleanup kill, but a very minor victory across the slew of negatives there. 25-minute barracks, definitely good news for Empire, I think, needless to say. Resolution is going to grab himself an invisibility rune and may look to pick somebody off. He can absolutely solo someone. Not going to have too much time left in Night, though he does have the ulti. And he is going to head up to the top lane here. We see a ping come out. Looks like he has his sights set on Nature's Prophet. Level 3 Necro Book is actually on cooldown, so oh wait, he's going to change focus. Looks like he wants this support alchemist here. There's the ulti, and this very well may be an easy kill. No, Resolution just going to try and port out here. Wow. Not going to commit to it. Look at the alchemist. Oh. Oh my. So 18-11 here. Empire really starting to take command of this lead. We see Crystal Maiden now. Obviously, she's doing pretty well. She's able to grab a Blink Dagger here at the 26-minute mark. And nice experience lead as well. Item advantage definitely going their way. I'm really happy with their item choices so far. Again, continuing to shut down this Visage before we can finish off the mech. That's been one of the drivers in this match. I've said it a few times, but really just something that you can't undervalue in a mid-game oriented lineup like this. Weaver's still really yet to take off. He's now picked up his boots to go with that Lincoln's. And probably going to be moving towards a Desolator. He's got himself that first Mithril Hammer, but not too much else to his name. Weaver's farm's still really hurting. And one of the reasons why Hand of Midas can be a little bit of a double-edged sword, it gives you this window where, yeah, you've got that farming tool, but doesn't give you a hell of a lot until it starts to pay off. And Weaver's still struggling to really find that payoff. Elder Titan now going to grab himself a Mystic Staff as well. If they didn't have a Shivas already, that would have been my thought, but probably just going to be a Sheep Stick coming onto Silent. That's my best guess here. Can always use more crowd control. They don't have the most crowd control intensive lineup, so Sheep Stick would certainly go a long way here. Always good to have that crowd control against Storm Spirit. One of the reasons Lion is one of the better support picks if you want to really shut down a Storm Spirit between Hex and Impale, or Earth Spike as it's called. It's Impale in my heart. So Sheep Stick going to be a step in that direction. Double damage rune now going to be bottled by an NS, the Night Stalker. And we'll have another pause here. Not sure what the issue is. Hopefully it is short-lived though. So again, this is game 1 of 5 here, guys. While we're stuck in this pause, we can take a gander at the matches we have coming up. After this, we're going to get to see Empire again up against Relax, aka Poseidon, Team RX. Then we'll get to see them against the Retry. And then our final 2 matches today, we're going to have Team Na'Vi. They'll be facing off against Aspera and the Retry, so we'll get to see some Na'Vi action coming up today. Again, I am Zyori, solo casting for at least the first few games today, and then I think Hippie will be hopping on to join me. Did just get word that Lysander is not available today. I know there were some folks out there saying, oh, why don't you cast with Lysander? I tried, folks, but we're on different schedules, so not going to work for his time zone. Sorry about that. But alas, there's going to be a Sheep Stick here for Silent. Great item pickup indeed, and that's going to be a BKB on the Storm, so he's going to be forced to grab that BKB. Not a bad choice, but only going to do so much. We'll give him a little bit more survivability, but still, if he gets caught in that Sheep Stick, not going to do too much for him. Sheep definitely a good item pickup here for sure for that Elder Titan. I do like it from Silent. Oh, and here we go. Resolution now going to grab himself a Basher. Another great item here in this kind of a situation as Resolution does port back to the base. Looks like he does want to fend off this push from Nature's Prophet. That is one thing that OSG have going for him right here. Nature's Prophet is really doing a great job. Tron continuing to keep the pressure on now that he's got Necro Book level 3. His pushing prowess that much more powerful. But Roshan will be coming up in a reasonably timely manner here. I'm going to wait for this middle orb to show us what the time is, but it's going to be about a minute and a half. So I think Empire just going to continue farming away, maintain some map control, and they are going to move in for second Rosh before they try and push up and do anything too crazy. Not a lot of ward coverage for Empire right now, though. Actually, I don't think they have any wards down on the map. We are looking at the Empire vision right now, and they've got nothing. Absolutely nothing. And, of course, there is a ward down here for the Radiant sign. Their lone ward right outside the Rosh pit. That will give them some valuable vision. They're going to need some sentries. Going to need something to deal with that before they want to try Roshan, but here we go. Abaddon does have 4 the Observer wards in the inventory, and we'll see Roshan get scouted out by the Fury and use that little treant. So OSG are on top of it, recognizing that, of course, a free Roshan going the way of Empire will be a one-way ticket to a defeat here. And they are going to play it smart, so I imagine they will try and contest this Roshan if Empire go for it. Weaver is getting close to that Desolator. He does have the recipe as well as that first Mithril Hammer, so going to be about 800 gold off. Just needs that second hammer, and he's going to have it. So that is going to be that big item pickup that OSG needs. I mentioned that carry advantage going to become a reality for OSG once this game goes on. And right around that 30-minute mark is usually a good window where these mid-game teams start to fall off a little bit, and those carries will start to shine. Desolator are going to be a great choice here. Always a great choice against a Doom, though Doom already prepared for it. Does have Shivas, so that'll give him a good bit of armor here, and it looks like he is indeed going to be grabbing that Assault Cuirass as he does have the Hyperstone, so he'll have plenty of armor to deal with that Desolator from the Weaver. Still a good item choice, though. One of my favorite pickups on a Weaver. Last outer tower here for OSG is going to fall. Empire just going to cut through it. OSG not even going to try and defend. Instead, they are going to counter push. Glyph going to be forced to be burned. This bottom tier 3 tower is slowly whittled down by the Furion, but that Necro Book level 3 going to be enough to finish it off. So it is going to be a tier 3 for tier 2. OSG actually going to find a bit of a positive there. This could be the opportunity to move into Roshan. Of course, OSG still have this ward up here, and they know exactly what's happening. They see Doom walk right into the pit. Pings come out. And they may try and contest it, but they're not in a great position. OSG just scattered all about the map right now. And Roche going to fall very quickly here. Doom starting to hit hard. Does have that Pack Leader's aura and the critical strike. And here we see Vanscore going to be able to take out that ward. Mech going to be used, and Roche going to fall. OSG not going to be able to contest it. So second Roche going to go the way of Empire. Aegis of the Immortal going the way of the mighty Night Stalker here to join that Skull Basher. This is a lot of momentum here for Empire, and we'll see how this next team fight goes. They are going to have to be a little bit careful, though. They do not have a Glyph available. They were forced to burn it. So if they do go all in for another lane of Rax here, Furion will have an opportunity to take out that bottom lane. He's been slowly whittling it down, and now the Necro Book 3. It makes it for a pretty easy push once he gets into position. So Empire very well may be just pushing out this bottom lane. So Furion's going to be forced to take another lane that's not quite as pushed. Try and force him to go top where they have that creep advantage, and that will slow down his efforts. So pretty predictable, but the smart play here from Empire to move into the bottom lane. Also a BKB picked up on Doom. Not sure if we mentioned that, but he is going to have a BKB now. Going to add to his survivability, and there it is, Abaddon. Going to grab himself a Vlad's. We talked yesterday, in my opinion, the most underrated item in competitive Dota right now. Not that folks think it's bad, but just a lot of teams don't pick up the Vlad's. And I like it here. A great mid-game item. Going to give him that great armor aura. +5 armor goes a long way in dealing with that minus armor of the Desolator.
Here I am.
Absolutely love it here. But already we see Empire being so hesitant to push out. They know they've got a lead with the Aegis. They can absolutely take a fight. But they're just so nervous for some rat Dota here. But uh-oh. Big Num going to be in big trouble. I think he's going to be slated to fall. Resolution with a haste rune on. He's going to be able to just chase him down. He's got the gem. Big Num not going to be able to get away from this one. He is going to time-lapse back. A pretty crafty play. Maybe he will be able to get away. I underestimated the power of the Weaver. Great time-lapse. He's going to try and port out. Oh, the Lincoln's going to save him. All the while down here in the bottom, Alchemist going to get caught all alone. And Mag and Vanscore are going to catch him. Oh, now they're going to go on the Visage. Shomi going to come in. There's the BKB, blowing for Mag and Shomi simultaneously. He's just got his sights set on We Just Zik. Down he goes. That'll be a 2-0. Now Tron, maybe in a little bit of trouble. Earth Splitter going to fly, not going to connect. But now to Poe, going to try and port out. Doom going to come. That'll interrupt it. Very nice by Mag. And that's going to be a kill in the Fury. And now going to be a 3-0. This should make for a pretty easy push. Resolution pressing forward. He's going to force Shomi to port out. Let's take a look at the buyback scenario here. And not looking too great. But, uh-oh, Resolution maybe overcommitting here. Chomi flies forward. That'll be the end of the Aegis. Maybe overcommitting a bit here in the tier 3 tower. The team better get here for support. He is going to get Orchided right as he pops back up, but just going to head to the bottom lane. Still Furion dead. No buybacks coming out from OSG quite yet. Mech going to be used. This bottom tier 3 going to be under heavy assault. There is a Glyph available here for OSG. They're going to have a chance to defend. Again, Big Num does have that Desolator, so he is starting to hit hard. They are trying to focus Resolution, but Big Num in big trouble here. Down he goes. That'll be the end of Chomi as well. I think we could be moments from a GG here, folks. Buyback's coming out, though. It's going to come from the Storm Spirit. He hops back in. He's going to try and pick up some kills, but I don't know that it's going to be enough. He's zipping all over the place. Not going to have what it takes. Alchemist now going to buy back, as well the Visage. Still just not going to be enough. Empire have way too much mid-game momentum here at the 35-minute mark. Glyph's still available. This tier 3 tower is still standing. There's the BKB for Mag. They're going to go back in. We just Zik going to try to stand his ground. Not going to be enough, though. The negative urn comes on resolution. Won't be enough for the kill either. Photic shield comes. And there it is. GG, well played. OSG just can't handle it. Well played by Empire, though. Very nicely done.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack.
They picked a mid-game strategy. They got the mid-game items. They knew what they needed to do, and boy, did they execute. Really a great game from Empire. They just handled it exactly right. They hit that mid-game stride. They did a crippling amount of damage before that Weaver carry could blossom. Really punishing that greedy build from Weaver by pressuring early on. Also did a great job thwarting the efforts of Tron, who did put constant pressure on their base. Well played from both sides, but Empire going to get the better of them. And that does conclude Game 1. Again, I'm Zyori, solo casting the first few games today. Thank you for joining us here on Beyond the Summit, guys. We've got 4 more games coming your way for Day 11 of Starladder Season 8 here on Beyond the Summit. Don't go anywhere. Plenty more Dota 2 action coming your way.